Hello everyone, my name is Duncan and welcome back to Let's Build StoneHearth, and we're gonna continue on the keep where we basically left off last episode. In last episode we built the exterior, we built the main gate and the path towards the main gate, and this time I basically want to make the entrance hall. Now I had an idea in mind, I've been walking around with the idea for a while now, and the moment I loaded up the game I realized that that idea is not going to work. So I had to work my way around and do something that I normally don't do with builds like this, and have a large plateau and then the way down, like stairs. You will quickly see what I mean. Now, what you can see me do now very quickly is actually just excavating the area. I want to make a giant hole in the mountain where I can just simply work without having any problems. And that's what you can see me do now. You see me go down a couple of more floors in order to be able to go down to get a bit more of depth. And you can also see me currently making the room a bit bigger, the space a bit bigger, so I've got more space to work with. And for this I simply use the IM command, the intermine command, because I did not have the time nor patience currently to actually do this. Now, as you may know, this episode took a bit longer than usual to make, and that for the main reason is that my computer broke down. Like last week my computer just decided to give up and die. I don't know what happened, it just killed over. So I very quickly had to build myself a new computer. It took me a couple of days before I had it. Then once I had it, I had to make the settings are all okay. And I've got to admit, they still aren't all quite okay, but this is as close as I'm gonna get it for now. For example, one thing that I'm still not happy with is that I cannot read my intro files. On my previous computer, I tended to use render my videos in MPEG files, MPEG 2 I believe. And Adobe just cannot read them anymore. I don't know why, I don't know how, it just doesn't do it anymore. Anyway, with that in mind, you can see me currently working on the plateau as I was talking about. And the plateau is just a giant open area for now. And then you can see me basically make this the skeleton of what this entire area is going to be. It's going to be the plateau on top with stairs moving down. My first idea was to move the stairs just straight down, but later I decided that I want to make a corner in them, like make them bend inwards and then go down. And I've got to say, I am really happy with the result. Like from a simple skeleton, at first I wasn't quite sure if it's going to work, but looking at the end result I'm pretty sure it worked and it looks really damn cool. Something else I would also like to mention is at the outside I used, I believe, dark mist and some other like brownish color. In here I went for an entirely different color scheme. I went for dark mist, or dark mountain mist I believe it's called, for basically everything, and then I used this reddish color, these bits of brownish reddish colorish for the accents, for the details. And I really enjoyed the combination and it's really good looking in my opinion. And what you can see me here is basically build out some kind of framework in which I can later build the areas, the bits that I want to put in there. Now, I've got to say, this place is inspired by a very, very old build of mine. Well, it's not really an old build of mine, it's more an old build of a server I used to play on. I believe the server is called Lord of the Craft. I played on it about 5 years ago, when I was still in high school. I think like 3rd year of high school or something. And basically what happens, I went to a dwarven city, I went inside, and my mind was just blown by how massive it was, how big it was. And this area, this front area, is basically inspired by that massive feeling. Like you are currently you walk inside, you're standing on top of plateau, you can look downwards and you see just a massive marketplace. You look up, you just see a massive open area above you and carved into the mountain. It also, for me, it was a mind-blowing experience. But I'm trying to recreate it. The only problem is that I basically can't do anything with the roof. Because, quite frankly, I cannot build from the downside looking up. The game just doesn't allow me. So, I try to come as close as I possibly could to that by doing what I do here. Basically, you've got the walls of dark mist and then the accents, the reddish accents, which are simply lines. But at the top you can see that I basically make it bend a bit. Not like a straight 90-degree corner, but more of a bendy bit. So, it looks like it's more supported than normally is. Now, one of the things I really wanted in this build was a fountain and some kind of small river or a creek that goes through the middle of the main hall. And here you can see me building the beginning of that. The problem with StoneHearth is you cannot really build with water. Like if you want water, you need a body of water, and you need a body of water, you need to build inside it. So just like any other build of mine, you just got to imagine that this blue wood, or stone, whatever it is, it's water. Just imagine it, and everything should be fine. And if you imagine that being water, I think it looks really cool, and the fountain I'm currently building over here will actually look pretty damn amazing, even though it is very simple. Now, something else that was a main problem for me when building this was I was looking at it and was like, how can I fill up this space? You can here the fountain bit was not so much of a problem. I very quickly figured out how to do it with the fountain and basically 3 flows of water coming out of the wall, as you can see me building right about now. But for example, for the back area, the plateau up top, I was literally looking at it and I just didn't know what to do with it. Something you can see me do a bit later in the video. But for now you can just see me simply adding some details and adding the walls and closing it off basically. So that area is mostly done at that point. Just adding a few more accents here and there with the brown reddish stuff, and then it is just done. I was just done. And that was basically the bit that I wanted to focus my build on today. That fountain, that area. And then with this you can see me putting a couple of things, just measuring it out. Creating a small bridge that can go over, and I want to make this bridge about every, let's say, 5 or 6 blocks. And a block, I mean, you see those two studs, those 2 blocks coming out of the side of the creek. Like every bit in between 2 of those bits, I call a, I don't fucking know what I'm talking about honestly. Basically that's a bit. Basically 4 of those, or I mean 6 of those, and then another bridge, so you can actually walk over every time and not have to walk entirely to the front to get to the other side. You know, if you think of it as an actual creek and not just some blue stone. Now you can see me here, what I was doing was basically carving out the mountain one more bit because it just didn't fit entirely. I had to move in one more bit before I can do it. And then you can see me building the wall. There's literally dark mist everywhere. And then later on I started building the brown reddish things on it. And for the entire build, there isn't much more to it. A couple of more things I will explain later, but for now, I'm just working on this wall bit. And this wall bit is actually very simple. You just follow it and copy it, the thing that I did at first. And I've got to say, it does quite okay. And you can see me doing the top bit again. And you can see me that at the beginning, I fucked up a bit. I made that bit a bit too early. But that aside, it does look okay. I'll fix it later on, and I'm still quite happy with the build overall. Now, what I noticed when I was building is that we have a giant area behind this wall. A giant area of the mountain behind this wall that I really wanted to use. So basically what you see me doing here is fill in that area. Or, well, not really fill in that area, make an entrance to that area. You can see me basically create 2 doorways for some kind of hallway, like 2 hallways. One of the hallways, I think the one on the left, I will probably carve in and then immediately go to the left. And the other one will just go straight forwards and see what we can do with the area that lays behind here. Probably make some stockpiles, some barracks. I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out sooner or later. Eventually what I want to do, I want to move the entire town into this keep. Because I believe that once the entire town is in this keep, we can have a really cool looking home for them. And it will be the keep of Longhorn. Not longer the city, no longer the village, no longer the whatever it's called. The keep of Longhorn. We're actually going to build a keep. Some kind of castle deep within the mountains. Now, once again, you can see me just filling up the area, just filling up the holes that we are laying about. And with that, there isn't really much else I do. You can see me moving around, filling the areas, finishing up, tidying up. And that's honestly about what I have done. And this will be about the main area. The last thing I actually did, now I think of it, is of course I filled in the entire ground with road. So you can actually walk around there without problems. But the bit on top, I was looking at it and I found it way too empty. And also I realized I need lightning. So I grabbed a couple of lanterns. Do I do it now? I think so. Yeah, no, I started with the braziers and I just put some down some braziers. And then I grabbed some lanterns and started to place them around the walls for a bit of minor lightning. I still got to admit, the lightning in this keep, it's shit. It is not the greatest. This honestly is not so great. But even with that, it does give a really cool atmosphere. A really cool look to the entire place. And that's something I actually really enjoy. Because later on you can see a shot of it during the night. And you can see all the lights in the fire burning up. And it actually looks really goddamn cool. Better than when it's during the day. Now... Oh, sorry. Apparently some of my screens just died. I don't know why. It's also one of the settings I still have to figure out why it's doing that. So apparently after 10 minutes my screens will just die. Good to know. But yeah, what you can see me do now is I was looking at this area back here. And quite frankly, I didn't find it filled enough. I found it very empty, even for a place like this. So what I did, I grabbed one of the altar thingies and decided the one that gives light and put it there. I believe this one is the... I cannot remember for the life of me, but that is called it. And I know that it's like campfire. It just keeps on... It just gives away fire. Just lightning and stuff. It's good. I like lightning. So basically what I did, I placed down roughly in the middle. And I quickly realized there was not really a middle over there. So I went with what was closest and it was this. And once I've placed that, I quite frankly just started building around with the pattern on the ground. And see if I can make something that looks a bit pretty. And I've got to say, it is very simplistic, it's very simple, but it does give enough detail to it that make it look really, really cool. Now, as you can see me go around and we go into the shots, the cinematic shots, then you can see that it looks pretty damn cool. Even though it took me a long time, well, it didn't actually take me that long to build. But here you can see the night shot of that side, and then, once we're done here, we will go to the inside, about now-ish. There we go. And you can see that it looks really cool during the night. And I really want to continue this build because I'm really enjoying this. And with this, I'm all out of time today. So, as per usual, I thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great time. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!